Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Keely here. If this is your first time seeing my face, hello there and welcome to my channel, and also welcome to episode 13 of Picture This, a photography series here on my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm telling you guys all about the Fotodiox macro extension tube. So without further ado, let's just get right on into this video. Starting off with where I actually got the macro extension tubes, I actually got these off of Amazon, and these are the manual focus ones. A quick difference between manual focus and autofocus extension tubes are that if you have manual focus extension tubes, you must use manual focus on your camera. If you have autofocus extension tubes, you must use autofocus on your camera. If you don't do that and you kind of like decide, hey, I'm gonna mix it up, what you're going to do is you're actually going to get a notification on your camera screen that's gonna say lens not attached. And this is very frustrating, especially like for me. I thought that I was doing something wrong, which obviously I was, and I learned from my mistake. I was trying to use autofocus on manual extension tubes. You can't do that. Manual and manual, or auto and auto, or none at all. Another key difference between manual and autofocus for these macro extension tubes is that if you are using autofocus, you should be able to do it handheld. I mean, you can use a tripod if you want to, but I would definitely 100% recommend, if you're trying to do macro shots with manual focus, you need a tripod. I will have the tripod and the macro extension tubes I'm using in this video, as well as a pair of autofocus that I'm planning in the future. I will have them all linked down in the description box below for you guys to check out. They're budget friendly, great quality, and you guys won't regret purchasing them. But then there's the question, what is a macro extension tube? So a macro extension tube is pretty much the cheaper version of a macro lens, because what this little bad boy does is it converts your regular standard lens into somewhat of a macro lens. These extension tubes don't get you as close as a macro lens would, but it's definitely good enough for a beginner and also to get started. I think that these are amazing quality. If you guys want to check out some of my macro shots, you guys can actually go and check out my photography Instagram, which is at K.M.Longoria. I have it linked down in the description box below, as well as my Fine America store, where you guys can check out more macro shots. If you guys want to purchase something, you know, you guys totally can. So today we are going to actually venture forth into my beautiful backyard that is currently like dry and dead, and Texas has killed all of the nature, but we are going to go out there anyway. But before we do that, I want to let you guys know there are a couple of accessories and things that you need to do before we get started. So number one, there are some accessories that you guys need and some things you need to do with your lenses. So number one is that you need to have a tripod with you for steady handling, and also to make sure that every single one of your images are going to come out clear and crisp and there won't be any blurriness. And then of course you have to choose the lens of your choice. So if you guys don't know, I do have a 70-300 millimeter, 1855 millimeter, and a 55 to 200 millimeter. Normally I use the last two that I mentioned for macro photography, just because my 70-300 millimeter can get really heavy. There's too many things that could go wrong. So if you have a big lens, I would not recommend that for macro photography unless it's an actual macro lens. And then before you go out and you shoot macro shots, it is imperative that you clean your lenses before you go out and do this shoot. So because you're getting all like close and personal with nature and all of these details, you really don't want to have like a fingerprint smudge on your lens that's just going to ruin your whole entire shot. So get one of your microfiber cloths, clean your lenses. If you guys don't know the cleaning kit that I use, I will have that link down in the description box below for you guys to check it out. I love it. It keeps all my lenses clean. I do, if it's not a daily, it's a weekly clean on my lenses. And then also something to keep in mind when you're doing macro photography is that you will have a very shallow depth of field, aka bokeh in the backgrounds. So now that we've covered the basics, you have your accessories in order, your lenses are clean, and you have your handy dandy macro extension tubes, it is time to go and do some macro photography. When you guys get your extension tubes, you guys will realize that these are actually multiple sizes connected into one. You can either use it one size at a time, combine them, different combinations, or use all of them at once. But first, what you want to do is take your lens off of your camera using your release button, and then you're going to basically attach the macro extension tubes as if they were attaching a lens to your lens, and you want to make sure that's clipped in place and in manual focus, and then you want to attach everything all together as if it was one big lens. So your macro extension tubes and your lens together are theoretically going to be making a macro lens. Okay, so the first thing that you guys need to know about the macro photography is that you want to keep your lens size in the back of your head. So right now I'm using my 18 to 55 millimeter, and with an 18 to 55 millimeter, that's not a very wide range of space to go between you and your subject. So that means you're gonna have to be closer to your subject. So I can still get very close. Another thing that you guys can do is you guys can pick up items from your backyard. So like this is just a really like dried out leaf. So what you can do is you can actually set this on a table, and you can actually use your smaller tripod or a regular tripod to get close up on that. So I'm going to show you guys how to go and do this instead of standing in front of a bunch of plants, because if you live in a hot place like I do, it's not always the easiest to take pictures outside. To hold the leaf down, I just use one of my battery chargers, and when you do macro photography, you slowly want to focus your camera and look through your screen and make sure that everything is all steady. And something that you guys will realize that when you're practicing macro photography, it's good to use random objects around your house. So I used a backpack, a thumbtack. You guys are going to see that I use some soap. You guys can really use anything, and even random plants in your backyard. Anything is able to be photographed for macro photography. Alright, so you guys are probably like, why is this girl in the bathroom? Is she crazy? No, I'm not crazy. So what I have here is my tripod is actually standing on my toilet with my camera pointed at the window. And what I have on the windowsill is actually one of these soap refills for hand soap. So when you guys look at the soap, you guys can see that there are little bubbles. It gets all sudsy and everything. So this is to show you literally you can do macro photography with anyone, anywhere, anything, and whatever you have in your home, and no one will be able to tell what it is, or no one will actually know except the photographer yourself. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like on my screen right now. So this is my screen right now, and that is the soap that I am going to be taking a photo of. So really all you do is you'll go in and you'll focus your camera. When you get to a point you like, you take the picture. Now that we've gotten our shooting done and we have some of our photographs, now it is time to hop right on into the edit, and I will see you guys back here in a few with the final products. As you guys can see throughout this video, macro photography is actually really easy to do, and you can either go the more cost-effective and budget way to start out by using the macro extension tubes, or you can go out and spend probably a couple $100s on a regular Canon or Nikon or Sony macro lens. And also today we are starting something brand new with this Picture This series. So as you guys can see down in the title, it is always Picture This capitalized with an exclamation point. So from this point forward, if you guys use the hashtag Picture This with the exclamation point in all caps, I will be choosing one or two people's photos and shouting them out in future videos from now on. So for this week, if you guys take any macro shot photography and you guys tag that hashtag, I will be shouting you out in the next video, and this will be for every single Picture This episode from this day forward. So if you guys want to do that, go ahead and you guys can tag me macro shots you take. If you guys are enjoying this series, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also if you're looking forward to more tutorials and how-to videos. And also, if you guys don't know, I do have a merch store now, and there is specific Picture This merch on my merch store. So if you guys want to go and check it out, you guys totally can. There is a link down in the description box below. I hope that you all are continuing to stay safe, healthy, and being the best people that you all could possibly be. And without further ado, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Love you guys!